chat we should pitch in and buy Chris a life alert.
This is gonna sound funny and then it's gonna sound sad, okay? I was thinking about getting life alert or something like it. Some system in which people can check on you and make sure you're okay that isn't just a stream. Because if I don't stream for like a week, people are gonna be like, ah, there goes Uncle Quiz, just being a lazy streamer. After seeing what happened with Chillin Dude this last week, dude, nobody is safe. I want to assume that there were maybe other health things that happened, but like that made me so sad. For those of you that don't know, Chillin Dude is, in my opinion, and I would think a lot of people would agree with this, one of the pillars of the Smash community. In gaming history, right, in every game, they have moments in their culture that are history defining. And there are events that are so big, normally they are so popular that they go outside of just the realm of their community, right? The Wombo combo.
Happy feet. Wombo combo. That ain't Falco. That ain't Falco.
Everybody has heard that before. That's from Smash. And one of the other big moments that happened in Smash history is respect your elders. And basically what happened was there was an up and coming player who was challenging the 5 gods. There were 5 players for a very long time, always got top 5 at every Melee competitive tournament. And then there was a player who was coming up named Leffen who was starting to take wins off of those 5 players. He was like the bad boy of Melee. He had the edgy anime e-boy hair. It was like dyed platinum gray. And he was always very disrespectful, right? He would laugh at people if they accidentally killed themselves in the game. He would beat people and show them no respect. Chillin Dude started calling him out, who was one of the OGs of the Smash scene, like a long time player, was there way before they were making any money. Like people would travel for tournaments and lose money traveling even if they won the event. Chillin Dude played the same character as Leffen, and they both played the same color fox. And the character that you pick and the color that you pick was very defining. It was like your identity in the game. He challenged him to what they had back in the day called a salty sweet, which is not a real tournament event, but it's basically bragging rights and I'm better than you, ego juiced up 1v1, where the better, not just the better player, but the better person would come out on top. Because that's how much of a talk session a salty sweet was. Chillin Dude challenged Leffen and told him, if I win, you got to learn to respect your elders. Because Leffen was pretty young at the time. And he said, if I win, you can't play White Fox anymore, which is a big deal. And Leffen said, okay, if I win, you know, you can't play White Fox. And to Leffen, he almost didn't even accept the challenge because he was like, Chillin Dude is such a low tier player, he's not even worth my time. What ended up happening is an absolute stomping, right? It's a 1st to 5. And so as you can see, this is 7 years ago. The diss track has 1.7 million views. The fight itself has 1 million views. A meme video on top of it has almost 1 million views. And for something as niche as Melee, when I'm talking about Smash games, I'm talking about specifically Melee, a 22-year-old game, which back then was a 15-year-old game with no patches, to get this amount of viewership is insane. This moment was so big for their history.
I think this guy talks a lot, and it's about time for him to learn some respect.
So for a game as niche as Melee, they filled the entire convention hall with this salty sweet, like the top 30 players in the world watching this salty sweet, because it's a big deal. And so we'll watch the 3-minute highlight of it, and I'll explain to you why this ties back to Life Alert in a bit.
Leffen, what do you have to say to Chillin before we start?
I'm sorry. All right, let's just...
See, he's laughing because that's how much Leffen is disrespecting him. Like, Leffen was, and still kind of is, the bad boy of Melee.
Let's play. I can body this fraud, and let's move on, all right?
I can body this fraud.
Let's play some Melee.
See, people booing him. As good as Leffen was, definitely like top 6, if not top 5 player at the time, being booed. No one in the audience is rooting for him. That's how big the storyline is. You have a crowd of like 1,000 people behind you. No one is rooting for you. That's how much he was hated.
Approaches, his combos, everything. Because this is Leffen.
That was a phenomenal punish.
He's taunting in the middle of a salty sweet. That's how little Leffen cares to respect his opponent. Because he could have followed up and punished him and taken a stock. That's how little he cares.
He didn't want the edge guard.
He didn't want the edge guard. He didn't want to lace. He just light shield, but second hit connects. Good stuff. Smart.
Exactly, Hippo.
All I gotta say is evidence.zip. Evidence. Dot.
This is looking more like a body bag. Zip right now. Zip him up.
Destruction.
First game, he beats him in a JV3, which means he had 2 stocks and took 0% damage. If this happens at the competitive level, it means you got... And for him to be like, you got to respect your elders and call him out in front of thousands of people, you have to understand you are losing a lot of credibility by doing this.
KristoferYee.
Zip him up.
Leffen is laughing. He's like, is this man really trying to fight me right now? Oh man, Chillin looking slightly flustered. This time, True Dat not in his corner. I mean, you made Ice Climbers get
100% to get a KO.
Oh my. Did you just see that? Leffen.
Leffen is just smiling right now.
All right, Leffen, you're up. Oh, not yet.
He's just waiting.
Whoa, Leffen, did you just really do it?
The up B into up air. That's not even a normal combo. That's just what you do when you're just toying with your food. Like, that's... Oh my God.
Nice dash dances, but Chillin. Still some fight left in him. He can make this big. Wait, the knockdown. That's an up smash. And a 5-0. Right now, Chillin gets dethroned. He is not using
He didn't even take a game.
this color fox anymore. And that is it. What a humbling experience. Leffen win.
Respect your elders.
Oh.
Chillin, you have anything you want to say to the people?
My B.
The amount of memes that came from that My B, it was endless. I remember seeing people put Chillin Dude's face as the B button on the GameCube controllers. It never stopped for at least like 2 years. Now you're probably asking, okay, why does this have anything to do with Life Alert? Like, what was this about? I want to reiterate how big of a moment this was for the history of Super Smash Bros. Melee, at least in the competitive scene. Say what you will about, you know, the actual content of it. It was a big moment and it was very entertaining and it was huge for the development of the scene. I think big moments like this that get a lot of viewership bring in new eyes to a community and give it a chance to stay alive and to grow. Anytime you can create a moment like that for your community, especially for a 15-year-old dead game that Nintendo has abandoned and regularly and actively on whenever people try to play it competitively, you should be proud of yourself. And I think Chillin Dude has done so much for the Melee community. I talk about this like it was a big deal to me. And I know I never show Melee or talk about it at all on stream. But like I said, in college and a little bit after college, when I was like really going through it, when like it was bad for me, the 2 pieces of content that I watched were Melee and offline TV and friends content. Those were my 2 go-tos that made me feel better at the end of the day. That's why I know a lot about Melee 5-ish years ago. Basically what happened was Chillin Dude suffered a stroke, and this happened to him at 30 years old. Hi, my name is Burhan, and I'm creating this GoFundMe for my brother Kashan Chillin, who suffered a stroke on June 3rd of 2022. My family was concerned because he was not answering his phone. We thought he may have been busy with friends or possibly streaming at the time. However, we were worried since it was a few days that he had not returned any calls. Kashan hadn't been feeling well for a few weeks due to the pain in his knee. After making a few calls, we got a hold of his friends locally in Southern California. They found him unresponsive on the floor in his bedroom. Immediately, they contacted the paramedics and took him to the hospital. Turns out his knee had an infection that spread to his heart. The resulting blockage caused a medium-sized stroke, which had incapacitated him for a long time before getting any help. When you have a stroke, the longer you are left alone after suffering from the stroke, the worse the effects afterwards will be. I have not donated yet. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do that now. If Melee means nothing to you guys, then, you know, sure, don't do anything. But for me, I'm going to donate because Melee and the content that it provided to me, at the very least, it made me smile. Like I said before, seeing that was part of the reason why I was like, you know what? I know I'm like, what, 28? And, you know, being a streamer, a lot of times people don't question when you disappear for, you know, a couple days, a week, because the job is so reclusive. You're just stuck in your home, in the basement, playing video games. People are like, oh, he's just addicted to something, or he'll come back soon. You never know. Sometimes crazy shit like that can happen. I know nothing about him personally. For all I know, he's maybe not at all what I imagine him to be. But at the end of the day, right, he was and is a pillar for a community that, even though I don't follow it very closely today, I did follow it very closely for a while, and I appreciate it. If you got a couple bucks, you know, maybe send something that way, because that's crazy.